What the heck is personal branding? If you are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of the channels, you are being flooded in the algorithm and bombarded with personal branding experts. It is something I see in bios all over the place. But when you click on their page, when you swipe through their links, when you watch their content, they typically are an expert in some sort of marketing tool that will boost a personal brand, okay? It is helpful to a personal brand. That doesn't mean that they're a personal branding expert. So what is your personal brand? Your personal brand is not a click-through rate. Your personal brand is not an algorithm scheme. Your personal brand is not a copywriting mechanism. Your personal brand is not an AI platform. Your personal brand is not just the content you put out. Let's break this down a little bit deeper. What is branding? Is it a mark? Is it a logo? Is it all of these things? Sure. But to clearly define, branding is the public perception of their product or service or company. So now let's make that personal. Your personal brand as a person, as an influencer or influential person, as a business owner, as an attorney, as an accountant, as a professional athlete, as a musician, your personal brand is the public perception of your brand as a person. That's an important thing to focus on. Now let's grow off of that. What does the public think of your brand? It's a great question. What do you think of your brand? What is your goal? What is your mission? What exactly do you sell? Why should I pay you? What value do you offer a company that will pay you to partner with you? These are all questions you need to understand before you launch a brand. 99% of people come up with a good idea or product or just want to be influential on social media, and they skip right to marketing and content they put out. And while there is some positivity behind action and not sitting around and overthinking, you still should be able to understand and explain what your brand is. Because if you can't understand it and you can't explain it, then the businesses can't understand it and won't pay you for it. If you don't know your brand, your target market won't know your brand. And if your target market doesn't understand what you're selling, they will not pay you. Next, you need to understand, who is your target market? Who are you selling to? Is it everyone on LinkedIn? Is it everyone on social media? Probably not. It is to a specific group of people. It is a community within your following. So you might have a big following. It's not everyone in your following. It is a community of responsive individuals that are looking to purchase what you are selling. If you're more of a corporate worker, like an attorney or an accountant or something of that level, then your target market is people looking for those services, right? So you have to think about your brand in terms of who are you and what do you do? And then who are you selling to? And once you know who you are selling to, then you ask, what are they looking to see? What type of content are they looking to see? What type of information do they need to see to convince them to pay you? Next, you need to be able to differentiate your brand. Why are you different? That doesn't mean that all of your content is, here's why I am different, or the other people suck and here's why I'm cool, although there's a time and a place for that type of aggressive marketing. You should be able to understand and explain why you are different. Again, if you don't know why you're different, then you can't explain why you're different. But if you know why you're different and you can't explain why you're different, then the people that you need to convince to pay you and not your competition is not going to pay you because they don't know why you are a different wellness coach, why your six-pack program works better than the next person's with a bunch of followers, why if they need a real estate attorney or a corporate attorney, why you're better than the next person they found on LinkedIn. If you're a business coach and you've built a seven-figure business, why is that strategy different than the other 10,000 out there that have built a seven-figure business? And by the way, why you are different does not have to be something crazy and complex. It can be the amount of exposure you have, the amount of following you have. It can be your experience. It can be the tools that you offer. It can be your connections. It can be a multitude of things, but you have to know it and you have to be able to explain it. Next is finally everyone's favorite part, the marketing, the exposure strategies. Every brand, whether it's a company or a person, every brand's primary goal should be to reach brand awareness. Sales come from brand awareness. Brand growth comes from brand awareness within a market. So your goal should be brand awareness. Therefore, your marketing strategy, you should look at it in terms of brand exposure. Different components that give your brand exposure to help it reach brand awareness within the market. That can be social media and LinkedIn. I call them landing pages. I don't like to look at social media as social media and just fall into all of the fads and the tricks. I like to look at social media and LinkedIn as a landing page for your story, for your skills and your results and your reviews. That is how you're going to grow a brand. That is how you are going to make money from your personal brand, is by being able to showcase your story, your skills, your results, and your reviews. Other exposure components are media, like actual paid media, news media, different types of media like that honestly is not that hard to get. People who create national media and local media are looking for positive things to write about. Some of them are just looking for negative things to write about. You want people to write about you who are going to write a positive story. Therefore, there are very simple ways that I have worked through on the national level, and I help people on any level to build out how to get that media coverage. Another thing is events. Events is an incredible way to showcase everything your brand. It brings it to life in person. It makes it tangible. You can bring in photographers. It's a content creation piece. You can bring in media. It gives them something to show up to and not just believe the bullets that you send in. It is who you are. It is your real life content. The last thing that I highly recommend is philanthropic efforts. If you are not doing philanthropic efforts as a business or as a personal brand, you're missing out on a huge piece. One, you got to make the world a better place. And I genuinely believe it starts with you. However, it is also one of the best arms you can add to your business, is to work in a community and to help a third party, a group of people. This creates an opportunity to make partnerships with people who might not be in a space to partner with you. But together, you can link resources and you can benefit a third group of people. If you provide a service, provide it to people who can't afford it sometimes. This helps you to get down in the roots and understand what people need, and it makes for a better world, but it also creates a better story for your business. And oh, by the way, that is a differentiator. That is something that it can serve as an exposure strategy, and that can be part of your mission and your brand identity. Hear me. A brand identity is not just a deck of cool logos and fun sentences that ChatGPT makes and puts in cool fonts. Those are awesome, and those are an important part of building a brand. However, a brand identity starts way before you make a deck of cool logos. A brand identity is you. You sitting there right now in a quiet room, listening and understanding, who am I as a brand? What value do I provide? What service do I provide? How can I impact? Who cares about my brand? Who's following me? What do they want to see? Who am I selling to? Why am I different? And how can I expose the market to my brand and reach brand awareness? This is a quick rundown on personal branding. If you want to dive in deeper, hit the link on my page, shoot me an email. I work with people from professional athletes to entertainers to business coaches to corporate lawyers. I work across the board. Your personal brand can grow through a multitude of ways. It's all achievable. It just takes intention. So if you want to ask me about it, shoot me an email. I'd love to talk to you. Talk soon.